So I know we all have pockets and little droughts and seasons where we're not really playing up the par, playing like we used to do, and we're struggling. You know, they call it a shooter slump, where you might call it just the sophomore wall, rookie wall you hit when you just kind of just can't get over that hurdle, that hump. So it's frustrating, and it feels like you just not yourself. You doubt yourself. You get to the mental games of what if this is what I am. This is really who I am. Get a little bit of imposter syndrome sometimes. But before you start going too deep down a rabbit hole, consider these 5 things, or really these 6 things, excuse me, when you're breaking down and analyzing this drought. When you to get out this hole of struggle, think about these 6 things. So first, really break down what is success or failure, what is struggling for you. So if your role or what your goal is for the team is to shoot and score and to average about 20 points. Now, if you're not reading the if you're not really meeting the criteria of getting 20 points, now we can say, okay, now we're struggling. But first off, we need to find what your role is slash what your goal is. Like, what is your purpose? What is your role on the team to make sure that you're like struggling? Because you're not a shooter, your role is not to score. Are you really struggling? If you're over here doing a rebound and assist and you're meeting the criteria of doing this thing, but you're not doing this other thing over here, well, are you really struggling then? If you might not be everything that you like it to be, but are you truly struggling? If Kevin Durant doesn't go out and score 30, he's averaging 15. Okay, now he's struggling. You feel me? But at the same time, he can do other things on the court to make sure that even though he's scoring 15 points, he might be averaging now 9 assists to get the other 15 points accounted for now. So yes, you're struggling, but what really, I hate to get too philosophical, but what does struggle actually mean and look like? So first you got to come to grips with that. Secondly, you have to go back to like your home base almost. Come back to what your averages are. So you have to think about what your average is of what your play is. So you might have had a hot streak where you just, went out and scored 20 points in a row. But that's not your average. You're really about a good 14 points a game type of player. So yes, you might not be doing 20 like you did the past 2 or 3 games. You're really averaging 14, so you're not struggling if you're averaging 14. If you might have had a explosive game or a week or whatever, where you just had the hot hand and things were going for you, but your average is this thing. So you're not struggling. You went back to average, or you went back to the median of what you're supposed to be. Neither good nor bad, but that's what your floor is. You don't want to hit your floor, don't hit your ceiling. You want to be that average or what the mean is for you. Next, you have to remember that this is a journey. You're not always going to be up. You're not always going to be down, like I said before. It's a journey where you're going to have ups and downs, and just embrace the fact that this might be the down part or the downward trajectory of this journey. You're not always going to be perfect. You're not always going to be the superhero on top of Mount Olympus. You're not always going to be Hercules doing the thing up top. Sometimes you're going to be the civilian at the bottom, struggling and not doing the best that you feel like you could be. And that's cool. As long as you keep in mind that you are going to go back up, you'll be okay. Okay. Next is to actually think about the progress that you've made from beginning to now. So you haven't always had the downslope, right? You've had the upslope too. So think about the progress and growth that you have made to get to this point that you're at right now. Think about how far you've come. Think about how the progress you've adapted to from beginning to now. It's like I always say, progress is the only goal. So when progress is your only goal, you can't really get too far behind if you're figuring out how to make some type of progress for today, if that's your goal. Next is for you to go back and study yourself. Remember, I talked about the average and what you used to do. You have to study yourself to see what you did to get to this point and kind of like see where you're messing up and doing wrong. You you're taking tougher shots. You're not playing your game. You're playing to the defense. See what the defense is doing to make you go off and be on this track rather than be on that track. Which leads me to my last point is to get into a routine. If you might be off your routine and not be getting the outcome. If you're not having the right input of your routine, the pregame routine with the sleep and eating, snacks or whatever, to have the right output of you coming back to where you're at when your game is here. So you can't expect a great output with having the right input. So I'm pretty sure one of these 6 things have applied to you, and hopefully, they helped you out. So um, think about these 6 things, man. Like, think about your average, think about your input and output, think about the progress, the goal, and the journey. Study yourself and realizing your role and expectation of the team. All these things come together to why you're struggling, and realizing why you're at the place that you're at right now. So hopefully this helped you out. Like, share, comment, whatever below, and see you next week. Hey, relax. It's okay. Listen, I understand that your goal is so big that it just feels daunting. It just feels overwhelming. Like you trying to get to the NBA, you trying to get to WNBA, you trying to play D1 college ball. I understand sometimes that feels like a lot. But listen, you're not gonna make that jump from now tomorrow to be to the league or be in D1. So let's just slow down and focus on the whole journey. Enjoy where you're at right now, but don't get too comfortable. You have to still keep working. You still have to make some type of progress and still keep growing. All you gotta do is think about this. If the minimum I can do today is get 1% better, you winning. Because there are some people gonna take a step backwards. There are some people that's gonna stop and just be equal. But technically you're not gonna be equal because I'm getting better than you, so it means you fell backwards now. And so you gotta get 1% better. Because it's a slow grind from where you're at now to where you want to get to. You don't have to worry about taking over the world in one day. Just take over step by step, one piece at a time, 1% better. It's a whole journey. Okay. You got this goal that's just hanging over you, weighing you down. But this goal, the end destination, it's not gonna change. So you have to appreciate the journey and taking steps to get there. You're a marathon runner, but the whole marathon is about focusing on that next step. So I need you to go ahead and look at whichever one you want. You can get this one or one of the other ones. But I need you to get this reminder for you. Get you a hoodie, a t-shirt, whichever one, as a reminder that progress is my only goal. And progress don't mean I'm perfect. Progress don't mean I'm there. Progress means I'm getting better. Because better and better adds up to being the best you that you can be. But the best is not existing because you're always going to get better. So get you this peaceful reminder right here to say, hey, all I gotta do is be a little bit better, 1% better, and I'll get to that goal at some point. So remember, it's about the entire journey and not just the end goal, because progress is the only goal.